morning, dear students of class 12. In this online English learning class, today we are going to further continue with the text of the lesson Enemy. You have been watching the videos based on the different aspects of the lesson, and we did the first part of the text yesterday. Today we are going to further continue with the remaining text. Now we had already done in the previous class about Dr. Sadau's childhood days, his meeting Hannah, about his father, and then the dilemma that the doctor and his wife faced, an American prisoner of war washed in the shore, and they were fixed with a dilemma whether to bring this man to the house and give him treatment or to just push him into the sea, as the man was their enemy. Ultimately, they decided finally that they are going to bring this man home, give him treatment, and then hand him over to the Japanese police. So while they were bringing this man, they brought the American prisoner of war, ironically, to Dr. Sadau's father's room. Dr. Sadau's father was no more alive, but his room was kept spick and span that showed their regards for the father. And at the same time, it was ironic because they were bringing the enemy to the room of a patriot. Now let us further continue with this lesson. Now, as the man was brought, the man was bleeding and dirty, and Hannah was worried because she felt the quilt was going to be spoilt. "He's so dirty," she murmured in distress. Yes, he had better be washed. So the man needed to be washed. "I cannot bear for you to touch him," she said. And she decided that we are going to take the help of the servants. "I will tell Yami now she can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him." Sadao considered a moment. Let it be so. But the utter pallor of the man's unconscious face moved him first to stoop and feel his pulse. So, as a good doctor, he could not see his patient in distress, and so he thought he should immediately go and make arrangements for the treatment and the operation of the prisoner of war. "He will die unless he is operated upon. The question is whether he will not die anyway." Hannah cried out in fear. "Don't try to save him. What if he should live?" So that shows their dilemma. "What if he should die?" Sadao replied. He stood gazing down on the motionless man. His professional ethics of being a doctor would not allow him to let his patient die. This man must have extraordinary vitality, or he should have been dead by now. But then he was very young, perhaps not yet 25. So the age is estimated of this young man around 25. "You mean die from the operation?" Hannah asked. "Yes," Sadao said. Hannah considered this doubtfully, and when she did not answer, Sadao turned away. At any rate, something must be done with him. And first he must be washed. So, as Hannah had decided that she is going to take the assistance of the servants, so she went to the nursery, Yami. But the children heard her, and she had to go in for a moment and smile at them. Yumi was taking care of the children. "I'll put the baby to bed," Yami replied. "He's ready." She went with Yami into the bedroom next to nursery and stood with the boy in her arms while Yami spread the sleeping quilts on the floor and laid the baby between them. Then Hannah led the way quickly and softly to the kitchen. The two servants were frightened at what their master had just told them. So, we are now coming to the next portion of the lesson, where shows the reaction of the servants. Now, this prisoner of war was not just between Dr. Sadao and Hannah. the servants had come to know, and their reaction is now what we are going to read. The old gardener, who was house servant, pulled the few hairs on his upper lips. That shows tension. The master ought not to heal the wound of this white man. The white man ought to die. First he was shot, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. If the master heals what gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. So nature has punished. Their soldiers have punished this man, and doctor should not try to save this man, because he will be going not only against his country but the will of God and nature. I will tell him what you say. Hannah said that I will inform. Even she was frightened. Could it never be well to help an enemy? Nevertheless, she told Yummy to fetch hot water. She went ahead and slid back the partitions. Sadao was not there. Yummy, following, put down her wooden bucket. Then she went to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded into stubbornness. I should never have washed a white man. So even she is regretting the decision of bringing the white man to the house. Hannah cried at her severely, "You will do what your master commands you." Because that shows the servants are dead against it. Yummy has refused that she is not going to wash a white man, and that too a dirty one. So that shows now Hannah, though regrets the decision, but she is now totally by the side of her husband, and she is rather severe with Yummy, and she says that you are going to do as your master commands you. Very well, she said with dignity. You understand, we not only want to bring him to his senses so that we can turn him over as a prisoner. I will have nothing to do with it, Yummy said. I am a poor person and it is not my business. So, though Hannah was trying to make it clear what they are going to do with the prisoner of war, Yummy was not accepting the idea, and she said that I will refuse to comply to your orders. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your work. For the first time, servants have reacted in such a manner. At once Yummy left the room, but this left Hannah with the white man alone. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger at Yummy's stubbornness now sustained her. So she decided to wash this man herself. Stupid Yummy, she muttered fiercely. Is there anything but a man and a wounded, helpless one? In the conviction of her own superiority, she bent impulsively and untied the knotted rugs that kept the white man covered. So she is trying to wash the man herself. When she had his best breast bare, she dipped the clean towel and that Yummy had brought into steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. The man's skin, though rough with exposure, was of a fine texture and must have been very blond when he was a child. So we see that here Hannah is going through a gamut of emotions. She hates this man because he is an enemy. At the same time, out of humanity, she wants to save this man, as this is the decision also of her husband being a doctor. But at the same time, she is full of motherly feelings for a small child, for a small baby. It shows that she is full of affection, being a woman, being a mother. When she was thinking these thoughts, though not really liking the man better now than he was, no longer a child, she kept on washing him. Now her anger was ebbing and she was anxious again and again. She rose, wiping her hands on the wrong towel. Then, lest the man be chilled, she put the quilt over him. So now again the emotions were of anger. She was not liking staying with this man alone in the room. An enemy. Sadao, she called softly. He had been about to come in when she called. So Sadao was making preparations for the operation. You have decided to operate? Yes. He had brought all his paraphernalia, uh, making arrangements for the operations. So he was giving instructions to Hannah, who was going to assist him in this operation. She was obediently following all the commands of Dr. Sadao. And when she went back, she could not see the sight of blood, so she was about to vomit and she went outside. But when she came back into the room, she saw this was useless. The blood was already soaked through the packing in the man's wound and had ruined the mat under him. So the man was bleeding. She went outside the room to get matting so that the floor and the carpet is not spoiled. But then when she came back, she found that it was of no use. Oh, the man, she cried. Yes, it's ruined. So the carpet were ruined with blood stains. She obeyed him without a word. Yummy would not wash him. So she informed her husband that Yummy has refused to wash the white man. Did you wash him then? Yes. He did not seem to hear her. So these were mechanical questions that he was asking because his entire concentration was on the man who was under his treatment. He told Hannah that you have to give anesthetic. But I never have. It's easy enough. So the doctor says that giving anesthetic is not at all difficult. It is easy enough. He is going to train her. So the treatment had already begun and was taking out the packing now. The blood began to flow and Hannah was not able to see the sight of so much of blood. Never in her life she had seen, and she was about to vomit and she went out of the room. You can see the same in the picture. Now, it was Dr. Sadao's habit to talk to his patients. And he was concentrating fully on the treatment. But seeing his wife in distress outside the room, he felt bad for his wife. He felt sorry for his wife, and at the same time, he got angry with his patient, with the prisoner of war who was the cause of all the problems in the house. This man, he thought, there is no reason under heaven why he should live. So again, the dilemma that the man and the realization that the man was a prisoner of war. Unconsciously, this thought made him ruthless and he proceeded swiftly. So you can see here Dr. Sadao is also going through different feelings. Sometimes he is gentle, sometimes he is referring to the patient, to the prisoner of war, like friend, which he used to do when he used to take care of his patients. But on the at other times, in other moments, he is annoyed and he feels that this man has no right to live. Now, the door opened and there was Hannah again. Where is the anesthetic? Sadao motioned with his chin. It is as well that you came back. This fellow is beginning to stir. She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. But how shall I do it? Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near the nostrils. And Hannah did as her husband ordered her. Now, while she was giving anesthetic, she saw some wounds and she remembered that the prisoner of wars were tortured very badly. And even the rumors had spread that in the newspapers that wherever the German armies went, the people received them gladly with cries of joy at their liberation. The army was known for its victories, but sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima, who was at home, beat his wife cruelly, though no one mentioned it now. He had fought a victorious battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? So she felt sorry how badly this man and